Hi,
Hello,
Sonsoles.
everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Sonsoles.
We are waiting for everyone else to sign in. Hi, Angelina. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Nice to see you.
Me too. A lot of friends here. I mean, well, as it should be. This is a circular voice activity, so it's supposed to be a community and shared community. So
Yes.
it's good to see you. And it's so cool that I was just there with Natalia and Maria and Vaselina and Didi in Sofia, just like last week.
Yes.
I mean, actually today. Today is Thursday, so it's Thursday with all of you, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's already Thursday. It's crazy. But,
The week is flying.
Hola, Rosa. Rosa is there. Wow. Oh, there's someone already recording our conversation, so we should remain professional now. We're just gonna wait a few more minutes and we'll start. Hello, everyone. Hello. We are starting now. Thank you for your patience and thank you for being here with us today. So my name is Dilyana and I will be your host for today's webinar.
I have started sharing my screen, so I will just go through quickly what to expect today. The two organizations that stays behind this event today is AgriVentures, which I'm part of, and also Alberizas. During this session today, we will have the opportunity to get to know what is about circular voices, why this event happens, and we will talk about funding opportunities related to the circularity sector, especially focusing on cascade funding opportunities. What is this cascade funding? So some of you may know it. Some of you may have not. We will dive into several open opportunities right now, which can be a perfect opportunities for those of you who would like to invest and scale their circular innovations to try and do it through these opportunities. And then we will dive into a panel session, which will be about scaling innovations. We also have one guest partner from Brussels University who also will present very similar initiative which can help you get in contact with us and make new collaborations. So first to start and to say a few words about AgriVentures, who we are. AgriVenture is a cluster organization based in Bulgaria. We have members from different type of entities, from startups to investors, farmers, innovators, and academia. We are specifically targeting the startups in the agri-food sectors, as we would like to have, and the farmers, as we would like to have more innovations developed, especially in the CE region. And therefore, we have dedicated a lot of our time to finding opportunities for funding which can support building this and implementing these innovations. We have also develop a testing program where startups can try in real world environment, trying their innovations. We do a lot of capacity building activities and networking opportunities. So you can follow us at our LinkedIn profile, or also on our official website, where you can receive regular updates on initiatives that we have. Our funding platform was recently released. The platform gathers in one place different funding opportunities, which are EU or global level. You can scan the QR code and you would directly redirected to the website where you can see our platform. We collect opportunities that are from different EU programs, but also private funds, challenges, accelerators, competitions. Like I said, not only on EU but on global level. We pre-filter every funding that we find to make sure that is relatable to the agri-food sector. So I encourage you to try it. And then I will give the floor to our colleague Soles to say a few words about Alverizas as well.
Good afternoon, evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us today in this very special event. That's everything that we do at Circular Voices. Alverizas is a private entity passionate about the world and that we live in, and the people, at least in spite of some. We have been working in the agri-food sector for more than 15 years, and in my case, 25 related to international project development. And in the agri-food sector, we produce, we develop, we create, we research, and hopefully we contribute in most areas our stages of the value chain, and hence our beautiful collaboration with AgriVenture and our baby Circular Voices.
Thank you, Soles. And now I would like to invite if someone is here from the Circular Food System Network, because this is the network that is actually supporting this initiative. We are like the hearts, but they are the engine that happened. So I would really like to give the floor to them to share what the Circular Food System Network is and what opportunity stays behind it. And yeah, I will give the floor.
Thank you, Diana. Yeah, that's me, Flavia Cazon. I am co-chair of the Circular Food Systems Network, and I prepared just a short presentation to give you an overview of what the network is. I'm not sure. I will try to just share my screen. Let's see if this works.
I think now you should you could share it. I stopped my screen.
So do you see the slide? Okay, yeah. Great. I see thumbs up, so that's very good. Okay, let me see if I can go through it. Okay, so we are the Circular Food Systems Network, which is a network under the Global Research Alliance on Agricultural Greenhouse Gases. And the network was founded in 2021 with the objective to contribute to food security with mitigation of greenhouse gas emissions by circularity across the entire agri-food system. And we do that by bringing together, developing and disseminating knowledge about circular food systems and what they are, mobilizing agricultural scientists to explore circularity within different agricultural systems, and always with the focus on mitigating greenhouse gas emissions, but also beyond that, what other benefits circular food systems can have on biodiversity, the environment, soil quality, water quality, etc. And providing policymakers with methodologies and system designs for a climate smart circular food system. So just very briefly, in 2020, the Integrated Research Group of the Global Research Alliance agreed to host a network. So this research group said that the Circular Food Systems Network could be under their umbrella and start their activities. And a year later, the Ministry of Agriculture from the Dutch government, so the government from the Netherlands, provided funding to support the Circular Food Systems Network and to initiate the network and its activities. And in that same year, we had the formal launch and kickoff. And in the first years of the network, we were very much focused on generating knowledge on circular food systems, because for a lot of people, this was maybe a new concept. So we wanted to see how we could increase knowledge on this subject and to grow the network and look for an international group of people that would be linked to the network. So what we started with when we launched the network is that we financed multiple case studies that focused on circularity in agri-food systems around the world. So you can see here a map of the different case studies that we funded and the regions they were focused on. And the primary focus here was to explore how circularity was viewed within different regions of the world, how what challenges in the agri-food and agri-production systems were there, and how increasing circularity would solve those challenges or would contribute to solving these challenges. So this was really to scope, let's say, what the current view was on circularity across the world. So we had many activities. Actually, I'm just highlighting a few here. But next to generating knowledge, we were also focused on disseminating knowledge. And one of the main things that we did during the last years is to organize a summer school in 2024 with the objective to identify challenges and opportunities for policy and research for successful implementation of circular food systems around the world. So what we did here is we selected a group of 20 young professionals that came to the Netherlands for 2 weeks, and we organized lectures and field trips and group work around the subject of circular food systems. And we translated this into individual case studies where they would explore how circular principles could benefit in the food system that they had chosen, and that was typical for, let's say, the region that was there, as we had a very international group of students. So currently, this year, let's say, starting from 2025, we have a few main activities. So we are now hosting a webinar series, which is called The Principles of the Circular Bioeconomy. This was with the scope of introducing an audience into the main principles of a circular bioeconomy and how this can be translated to circular food systems and to bring circularity within agriculture. We financed the Circular Voices project that, of course, you will hear more about here today, so I won't go into details about the project. We are exploring the research policy interface and how we can use this in our network, because we would like to translate the knowledge that we are generating into very tangible policy briefs and options for policymakers to integrate circular principles and circularity within sustainability goals for their agricultural development. And we are organizing to host a side event at World Food Day, which is organized in October of this year, where we will do a workshop on circular food systems. So upcoming projects in the coming year or two is that we would like to organize a second edition of the Circular Food System Summer School. We would like to participate in a GRA flagship initiative. So as we are part of the Global Research Alliance, we would really like to be to explore the opportunities to be involved in a bigger flagship project where we can bring in circularity as a key topic to increase the sustainability of agricultural production. We are in the development of a website and knowledge hub, so to have our own website and a hub where we gather all the knowledge that we have acquired in the last years and all the activities that we have done. So actually, the launch of the website has just been completed. So last week we launched the new website that you can visit on cfsnetwork.org, and here you can read about the network, our activities, the past activities that we do, and how to stay in contact with us. So the network is actually three of us. Miriam Spoelstra and Rianne van Zandbrink are my colleagues who are not here today, even though Rianne might join a bit later. And here are our contact details. You can follow us on LinkedIn. You can have a look at the website, and we have a newsletter that comes out regularly a few times a year. So you can register via the website for this newsletter. If we have funding opportunities and a call on new research projects that we are funding, then you will be the first to know when you're connected to us on LinkedIn and on our newsletter. That was it for me. So this was very shortly what we are all about. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. And congratulations on the new website. And you have referenced the Circular Voices project now on the website, so you can also access it through the CFS network. So now I will proceed with the presentation on the Circular Voices initiative itself. Just let me make sure that you see my screen again. Perfect. So the Circular Voices project is about identifying and making circularity more visible and relatable. For this purpose, we researched, we get in contact in Bulgaria and in Spain with different farmers, with different companies that aim to implement circularity in their processes. And we consulted them and spoke to them about their challenges, about the benefits, the pains, and the gains they have experienced. And we produced several outputs that we'll talk about later. But the purpose, the very major purpose of this project is talking about circularity more, because and what are the different dimensions of it, because what we saw here in Bulgaria, for instance, is that a lot of farmers do have some practices, but they don't recognize them as circular, that they are not reaping the benefit of the entire sustainability narrative that is existing currently, and they do not position themselves in a way that could be taking the most added value from all. So the first phase of the project was conducting 2 workshops in Bulgaria and in Spain. We had very honest conversations. The conversations were facilitated. This allowed us to gather and to share everyday experience of different farmers and companies that work in the circularity domain. This allowed us to get to compile. Sorry, trying to unmute some of you. I'm just. Could you please mute yourself, because I'm the one who can only mute you now currently, and yeah. So the conversation there helped us build a storytelling toolkit. So just 1 second. Well, sorry, Zrinka, because I don't know why I cannot unmute you currently. Could you please turn off your mic? And so we had the second phase of this initiative was about developing a storytelling toolkit. You can access the website and videos. We can access the website that we have created. There we have uploaded the documents that we have created, and also the circular practices that we have filmed through short videos that are available on this website. You can scan the QR code and you will be redirected to the website of the initiative. About this Circular Voices toolkit, this is a toolkit which has 2 main parts. The first part contains a self-assessment matrix, which is a really easy to use matrix, and its purpose is to provide guidance and inspiration for people who are new to the different initiatives that they can implement. So we have developed the matrix in 10 areas, and we have a score which help people get the picture where they are, what they can improve. So we have also created 1 general action table, which allows for tips and ideas how to how to integrate circularity in the business plan and the strategic development of the organization. One of the we have 16 stories collected from cases collected from Bulgaria and Spain, 8 per each country. Those stories aim to present briefly what the people are doing, what they're implementing in terms of circularity, what was the benefits that the circularity brought to them. And they're very beneficial key messages, which are, again, very inspiring, like how circularity enables businesses which are like 100 years of old. The circularity is bringing the added value that make them profitable in our century now. Or how the perspective of cooperatives, which in Spain are very active and really enable large-scale circularity, and they are the one that see the real scaling of circularity in agriculture. But for instance, here in Bulgaria, we don't have working cooperatives, so scaling circularity is a different issue, and that needs a different approach for really achieving this target that we want to have. And another very important thing that almost all of the participants shared, and like a key message, is that when you close the cycle, the system starts to really work for itself and to really have it working for you. From Bulgaria, one of the key messages that I have extracted here for you, and are very much also inspiring in the perspective of greenhouses, which is very modernized, very high-tech greenhouse. They see that if they have waste, the problem is that something in the systems and the architecture of the greenhouse is not okay. It's not that the waste is not an inavailability, but it's something that needs to be improved in the system. So at the end, you have the circle. Or from the perspective of a farmer who works in the seed production, they see the seeds as the starting point, and it's really they see the loop closing. The circle loop is not the one at the end, but the one that it starts. And thinking about the inputs that we have at the beginning is something that needs to really be considered in the first place, so that we have a circularity. Of course, every each of these people have met difficulties in terms of regulatory aspects. Most of them shared this opportunity from bureaucracy, the bureaucracy that need to report every small step in the way that prevents them to get real into the job, to the wrong way that some of the national funding mechanism is done, that stimulates wrong practices and not the beneficial practices. As long as because people are motivated and need to have, at the end of the day, the money, they need to stick to the frameworks that need to be applied to get the funding, but then you lose in the process the essence. And other trade-offs and critical challenges were related to the time and the personal time that you need to share and to sacrifice sometimes personal time that you need to sacrifice for your family. But when you are dedicated, at the end it pays off. You see it in the customers' gratitude, you see it in the system sustainability, that and you see it in the regenerated soil that allows you to keep the water. It has a biodiversity in it, and it's amazing how in Spain and in Bulgaria, a lot of the issues were repeatedly in terms of regularity, but also in terms of inputs and climate challenges, and also soil challenges and water challenges. So all of these trade-offs are structured, and you can explore them in the toolkit together with the different stories. You can see the people staying behind those companies and farmers, and really get inspired for your activities. Then we had the final four phase, which is a part of this webinar, is part of it. But we also produced one policy brief, and now give the floor to Maria from our team, who mainly stays behind this output of the project. Maria, I'm giving you the floor.
Thank you very much, Dileana. Hello, everyone. Glad to have so many people wanting to join this international online event. I'm gonna try to be very short, although I like to speak and I have a lot to say. This part of the project aims to address one critical thing. You most probably know that the European funding is framed on a cycle of 7 years. So one of the main instruments for shifting how agriculture and circularity are addressed is the Common Agriculture Policy. So we have analyzed some of the main projects in EU in this document. This document first is accessible already on the website. I'm going to share afterwards the link to the policy brief. So we have analyzed what is the current situation in Europe with data, and then we have dived deeper into the main projects that are being implemented. And then what is our message in this policy brief is related to our concern. If you don't know, the next programming period will consist of national partnership plans. Those national partnership plans will be programmed at national level. They will have a specific funding for the CIP, but the ring-fenced budget will be only for farmers. So it's the role of the member state to recognize that circularity is very important, to be included as a priority in these national plans. In this regard, we think that this document is really important, and we would like to open up signatory procedure to collect different stakeholders who support this document, so that it can reach also the European institutions in the process of negotiation of the new CIP. The new CIP and the funding, the horizon that you all know, will start in 2 years. Less than 2 years. So it's important to have the message that not only the support of primary production is important, but specific practices that can close the loop and can use the resources in a more sustainable way. I have put some data that the material use rate, the material which is could be used is only 12%, which means that more than 80% of materials is still dependent on primary and non-circular flows. As Dileana mentioned, most of the farmers first don't know which practices to implement. They don't know that they will have added value. And for the farmers who know and implement, they sometimes don't use this as a market opportunity, or sometimes it's difficult to scale innovations that are related to circularity. So this document is not very long. We have, probably most of you know that Europe is having different strategy. For example, the farm to fork strategy now currently there is another document, but mostly related not to farming, but in general circularity, which makes things even complicated. So we think this very short, straightforward document with analysis and concrete recommendations is very important part, not only of this project, but as a message to open up more opportunities. For the comment section, I would like to note also, because we have stakeholders here, people, guests from Africa, from the US, just to let you know that the Horizon program budget will be increased up to 175 billion euro for the next programming period. And for some of the calls, we also have applied with partners from the US and from African countries. It's individual, so case by case, but yes, it's possible to have projects together and to scale what we have done in a more broad way, including more member states, more organizations, farmers, so that we can have to reach a bigger impact. So in short, Dilyana, this is the message. I can speak a lot, but it could be nice if we connect also in LinkedIn. So we plan to continue this initiative. We really like it and think that it has a potential. And the policy brief is a way for us to put in one document what is done and what should be done for the future. So I really hope that you will open it. I will put the link, and then we will inform you by email when we open up the signatory process, so that we can collect a lot of supporters. And this spreads not only around Bulgaria and Spain, but also to more people who are interested in this topic. And
thank you, Maria. Thank you very much. Like we said, we will have a follow-up email where we will give you direct links, and yeah, you can explore both the policy, the cases, and everything. So now we move to one connected project that is about sustainable food systems. We really think that such initiatives should have voice and be popularized among the community. So we really could connect and get the most of the collaborations and the outputs that produce. Now we'll give the floor to one of our partners, Jorge from the Free University of Brussels, to present us the TrueFoods project. He's working in the legal department in Brussels. He can also present himself in a few words. Jorge, I'm giving you the floor, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the invitation. I'm going to share my screen with the presentation so we can see a bit. I'm not skillful enough with this window. Okay, that's, sorry. I'm trying to check where I can, because I cannot see my PowerPoint presentation, so I'm sorry. It's like if I do this and then, sorry. Okay, I think that now I can share my screen. If you can see it, is it okay?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, nice. So thank you, Dilyana. Thank you, Maria, for the invitation to this event, and then for sharing a bit about what about TrueFoods, the new project that we are working together. That is a pan-European project about transforming European food systems through sustainability, equity, governance, and resilience as core elements. As they said, my name is Jorge. I'm from the Free University of Brussels, and co-director of the Agri-Food Law and Food Systems International Joint Research Group. But today I'm going to talk a bit, and then I promise that I'm going to stick to the time. I'm a lawyer, so sometimes as Maria said, I also love to talk a lot, but I'm going to stick to the time. So I'm going to present a little bit about what about TrueFoods that we started in April. We had a kickoff meeting, and then AgriVentures is one of our associated partners, and then it's involved directly conducting some activities inside the proposal. So TrueFoods is like this initiative. What about TrueFoods? TrueFoods is it's to tackle environmental degradation, food loss and waste, resource inefficiencies, governance fragmentation, social inequalities, climate vulnerabilities. But we define this because we identified those gaps inside the food systems. Mainly, we are focusing on the post-harvest food systems, and then from identifying the gaps, that's why we are coming through the proposal, and then we are presenting. Then we develop the projects that is going to last for 3 years until February 2029. And the main idea behind the TrueFoods pathway, the pathway of the project is like we will be connecting and analyzing from the legal domains, the governance and the policy analysis, looking for the fragmented European approach for food systems, post-harvest food systems mainly, and then how we can create a roadmap for legally guiding the communities, the farmers, producers, and the companies that are involved in the post-harvest food systems, understanding the legal framework and how to overcome. Because the project is in the timeline of the project, we will have the CAP, the Common Agricultural Policy, finish in the 2027. We will have a new CAP after 2027. Then we will have also strategic plans. So we are focused on analyzing the CAP until 2027, but also after 2027, what is going to be the future of the Common Agricultural Policy at European level. And then creating this background, we are going to the work package that we have for the environmental and circular system, where we'll be focused on the circularity, having the life cycle analysis of the post-harvest production, focus on the general basket of products, and then we will see which kind of inefficiencies are reflected, and then from that point we will create a different approach, a different kind of circular model proposal based on the life cycle analysis on the 10 participating countries. And then having this diversity, it's allowing us also for having a work package, the number 5, that AgriVentures is mainly leading and co-leading the work package, is like inclusive business models and mentorship, because then we will try to involve SMEs, marginalized farmers, marginalized communities in this kind of co-creation activities and mentorship, teaching them how to implement this kind of circular strategies based on the work package 4. And then we have a transversal work package that is a 6 that is mainly for resilience and adaptive governance linked to the previous activities, how we create these resilient food systems post-harvest mainly. And then that's why we will develop policy targets and also system transformation. Beyond that, and then I'm going to focus where does circular economy enter inside TrueFoods? And mainly in the work package 4, we are going to identify the environmental inefficiencies to develop circular economy strategies and support integration into governance structure. Because we must see food systems as a complex systems that is not only about technology innovation. We should see food systems mainly as their complex structure that they are implemented and through legal regulation, but also through governance, participation, farmers, and also businesses. So that's why we are going to make this kind of shift, analyzing different, changing the perspective, analyzing not only legal perspective, even though this is my main field, but it's beyond that because we are a multidisciplinary team in this project proposal. So from evidence to circular solutions, that's the idea. We have 2 main tasks inside the project where we are conducting a life cycle assessment and then a circular economy strategy based on the life cycle assessment, because we have to focus on resources recovery, waste reduction, by-product valorization, and local adaptation pathways. The main thing here is the local adaptation pathways. During the project lifetime, we want to develop this pathway in a way that it can be replicated in European scenarios, but beyond Europe. We want to have a real impact beyond the project timeline, and that's why we are presenting this life cycle assessment. Until that, we will have a circular economy strategy that is going to be validated through co-creation workshops with producers in the 10 countries that are participating in the consortium. From that point, it's important to see that circularity needs governance, because policy review, regulatory gaps analysis, and co-creation workshops involving policymakers, small medium enterprises, researchers, and the civil society organizations. Circularity also needs people, because we need inclusive business models, small medium enterprises, women-led enterprises, local communities, and capacity building activities. That's why we are focusing mainly in the project on circularity, and then how circularity is embedded into governance and also into the communities, into the people. That's why we can say that circularity for resilient food systems needs environmental sustainability for creating the project ecosystem, reducing impacts, use resources, responsibilities, but then we need the circular economy approach for reducing, reusing, recovering, and recycling resources and minimizing waste. And then with the governance innovation, having better policies, coordination, and adaptive solutions for food systems transformation will go through participation, engaging different stakeholders, communities, for having inclusive and gender-responsive decisions. That's why we are bringing as one of the main outcomes, resilient food systems. We are looking for having a pathway based on circularity, environmental sustainability, for having healthy people, prosperous communities, and sustainable planet for future generations. Saying so, this only presented a bit the consortium of the project. As I said, the Free University of Rotterdam is the leader of the consortium, but we have other institutions from Romania, municipalities from Romania. We have institutes in Italy, that is Sant'Anna School of Advanced Studies. We have Ecologic Institute from Germany. We have our dissemination engagement partner, that is NGO in Sweden. We have IPNA in Spain. We have the University of Porto with the sociological approach, and then we have anthropologists. We have also the University of Food Technologies from Bulgaria. We have the region of Skåne in Sweden, and then we have also associated partners that they are contributing to the project, not only for dissemination and engagement, but also for certain activities of co-creation and mentorship programs, like the Finca Marañuela, ACR Plus, that is Association for Cities, Food and Bio Cluster Denmark, AgriVentures. And it's missing there because we are adding them recently to our consortium. Rooting Nova, that is a university startup dealing with farmers and farmer training and on biodiversity and agricultural law issues. So this is about our project. This is about our funding. I think that I tried to stick to the time. I'm going to stop sharing now. And if you have further questions, please do not hesitate to let me know. And then I will be happy to connect through LinkedIn and then giving you more information about the project and coming activities on our international joint research group on agri-food law and food systems. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jorge. We are truly glad that you could join us today. TrueFoods sits really at this fascinating intersection between sustainability and food system and circularity. But now we will proceed with the other session, which is about funding. When you have the right funding, you unlock opportunities. So I will welcome now Sonsoles to present our next guest, and we will talk about funding and cascade funding opportunities.
For this important section for everyone, we decided to bring or ask a favor of our colleague Nathalie Chavrier. She's the head of the agri-food department, and now also EU funding projects from the Corporación Tecnológica de Andalucía, CTA. It's a multi-sector cluster, innovation cluster, I would say, within the Excellent brand. And she brings a lot of experience and knowledge on this regard. So, Nathalie, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Sonsoles, for your presentation. And thank you so much to Circular Voices project for the invitation to be part of this webinar. I'm going to share my screen. Let's go ahead with that. Oh, I cannot see my presentation. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, a moment. Again, we try again.
Do not distress. Plenty of time. We're on time. And someone
Can you see now?
Yes. Now.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. So
thank you for your attention.
My God, the final point.
It's just giving a few laughs. Laughing is important.
Let's go on.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go ahead.
Yes. This is full screen?
Not yet. But now when you press
just a moment. Yes?
Oui, parfait. Merci.
De rien. So, as Sonsoles said before, I'm Nathalie Chavrier from CTA. CTA is a multi-sectorial innovation cluster composed by 186 companies, and we are located in the south of Spain, Seville, Malaga, Granada, and in Brussels too. So our main role is to give support to companies to make them more competitive through their R&D and I activities. And as a cluster, we are part of several European innovation projects. We are expert in cascade funding, and currently we are involved in more than 25 European projects, some of them with in the thematic area of circularity or bioeconomy. So when Sonsoles asked me to talk about European funding, I said, whoa, it's a big challenge in 10 minutes. It's quite impossible to explain all the opportunity of funding we have for circularity, for small company and small entities. So I decided to focus the presentation on one specific funding called cascade funding, because I think it's maybe the more adapted tools we have when we are talking about funding small company from agri-food. Because as you may know, the agri-food sector is composed by a lot, 90% of SMEs. So I think that the cascade funding could be the most or the best funding tools for SME to reach some funds for the circular or bioeconomy project. So what is cascade funding? I don't know if you know about this mechanism, but cascade funding, maybe you have heard about it, because we used to call it cascade funding or financial support to third party, FSTP, or open call. So this is not a funding program. This is not a topic with funding. This is not a specific program. Is it a mechanism that the European Commission deployed or created some years ago? So this mechanism, you will find it distributed in all or on a lot of topics in the different funding program of the European Commission. Okay, so this is a mechanism, and this mechanism is specially address funding small amount for small entity for the innovation project. So we can say that it's a kind of simplified funding programs that is very friendly and easy to access for SME. How does it function? So as the name says, this is a cascade. That means that the European Commission decide to fund some large collaborative projects of innovation, and those large collaborative projects have the commitment to deploy part of the budget to third party, to other stakeholders that are not involved in the consortia. And this is the cascade funding. That means that some consortium funded by the European Commission has to design, to manage, and to deploy another open calls to fund innovation project to third party. So it's a very interesting mechanism, because for beneficiary of those open call, it makes them be able to be in contact with some consortium, with large company, etc., but in an easy way to access to fund. So the key point of the FSTP is that normally the FSTP can fund short duration project with small quantity, because one of the requirements of the European Commission is that the FSTP cannot be more than 60 kilo euro per beneficiary. Okay, and another interesting issue is that the FSTP, the open call, normally deploy a very simple procedure for submission and for reporting that make it easier to be used by SME. Okay. So, and what kind of project does the FSTP fund? It depends on what the consortium decide to fund. So some consortium decide to fund through the FSTP technology project or innovation project or open innovation initiative or mentoring initiative or demonstrative trial. It depends. So I would say that maybe the main challenge is just to identify the open calls and to identify an open call that fit with the thematic area an SME want to deploy. So for SMEs, the cascade funding has a lot of advantages, because, as I said before, it's an easier access to European funding. Maybe the cascade funding procedure has a lower administrative burden for the applicant. There's a faster evaluation and funding cycle. And I would say that it's a kind of the cascade funding for SME that never apply to a conventional European funding program. It's a kind of training. It's a kind of easy training. First, you will start to apply to cascade funding, and then you catch the dynamic of the European funding, and then maybe you are able to apply to the conventional European funding program. So where do you find the cascade funding, FSTP? Normally, cascade funding is indicated into the topics of some funding program of the Commission. And those programs are the Horizon Europe program, the Digital Europe program, the EIC, the European Innovation Council program, the I3 from the DG Regio, Interregional Innovation Investment, and some Interreg program too, used to set up the FSTP. If we are talking about circularity, thematic area, you can find some specific topic with FSTP in the cluster 6 of Horizon Europe, in the CBE joint undertaking program, in the EIC accelerator, or in the Interreg. So the most challenging part of the cascade funding for SME that want to apply to cascade funding or to an open call is just to identify the open call. So the European Commission as a kind of mandatory issue is that all the open calls have to be published during 2 months under the EU Funding and Tenders portal. So if you go to this link, you will see all the open call. You can filter with a keyword, and you will find the FSTP, the opened FSTP. So once you define or you identify the opened FSTP, then you can go to the website of the specific FSTP consortium, and in this website you will find all the information regarding the open call. But of course, if you need additional information, of course, you can ask to your NCP, your national content point, or for instance, in Spain, we have a specific help desk for funding program for company. It's called Red PD. And I recommend you another portal, private portal called Sploros, where you can find all the open call. So it's very interesting, this portal. Regarding the open call that are currently open and related to circularity of bioeconomy, we have 4 open calls in that moment. The first one is Agri-Biocircular Hub. This is a open call to found 12 startups from a specific geographical areas, Poland, Latvia, and Ukraine, to fund them with €50 just to scale up innovative solution for sustainable agriculture and circular bioeconomy. And the deadline is till the end of July. Then you have the Bioeconomy Giant open call to fund travel and network to attend a bioeconomy bootcamp. And the deadline is by the end of July too. You have another one, is C4B open call to found a pilot project based on with a bio-based business model, and the deadline is 14th of August. And you are RIV Circular that will found innovative solution that contribute to the transition toward the circular economy, with a deadline the 17th of September. So I encourage you to have a look to those open call, to look very carefully of all the specification of the call to see if you are eligible, if you are an SME or an entity. And yes, if you think that the call fit with your needs, I encourage you to apply. And of course, if you need support, you can call your NCP, or you can call directly the contact point of the open call to have more information. So that's all from my side. I will be very happy to answer you any question, but you have my email on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Natalie. And I have, by experience, I have the pleasure of having been funded by a program in which she was my coordinator, and therefore being able to test an idea that we have in field about, varieties, testing them in a natural way, natural-based solution. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalie. We have one question, whether a specific project is one of them. For CFIs, I checked it and I saw that it's a mother project which is providing cascade funding. So there are many of them, and we have developed a tool. You can check it in the AgriVentures website, where you can navigate your country, for example, to filter it and to understand whether this opportunity is for you. There are 2 more tools where you can put your website. For example, you're a company, you put your website, and then automatically the system provides you with some information, which are the open calls. It's very useful also as addition to what Natalie said in finding opportunities, and those opportunities are very, very interesting. So don't hesitate to contact Natalie and to try out. Why not?
Thank you, Maria. And now we are moving to the last session, which will be in the form of a panel. We will dig into the topic, what needs to be done after funding, so that we can scale circular innovations. And Sonsoles will moderate the panel, and she will present our guests. And thank you, everyone, for joining.
in order to speed up the process and also have the opportunity of really listening to them, which I mean, they are the experts and that's what we're here for today. I will ask for them. I mean, I will ask for them to, while answering a general question that we want to ask all of them, to briefly introduce them, because I mean, we have the pleasure of knowing them. They wear different hats, and I guess they would be better at summarizing, and I don't want to be short in their introduction. So my question would be, and either one of you could start, Lucia, Lorraine, or Mariano. It's what is the real bottleneck to scale? Is it the market readiness? Is it policy? Is it the way we tell the story of circular value? Or is it something more fundamental about how the system rewards the status quo? So whoever wants to start, but first to introduce yourselves.
Sure, thanks, Gonzalez. I can kick off if you want. So good afternoon, everybody. Just to introduce myself, my name is Lorraine Allen. I'm an innovation and commercialization specialist, I guess, to put myself in a nutshell. I work across food, agri-food technology, bioeconomy. I really help, I suppose, research teams, startups, SMEs translate innovation into commercially viable opportunities. Mainly through, I'm a big believer of design thinking, so market validation, customer and consumer insight, business model creation and commercialization strategy. But I'm very interested in, I suppose, circular bioeconomy innovations, and I've worked with many startups in this space. I'm also part of a project that's European funded, doing the commercialization element of that. So it's trying to help them move beyond pilot into scalable, I suppose, environmental impact. So to answer your kind of first question, I think, I don't believe the biggest bottleneck is technology policy, and we've seen there's an abundance of funding. I do think it's market readiness. We have many excellent ideas and innovations emerging from research and from startups. I think it's often that the challenge is that we focus on proving the technology and not necessarily will someone buy it at scale. So, circularity, whilst it's important and people have more concerns around sustainability and food security and food and the environment, it's not the main reason a customer buys. I mean, they're going to start buying for a different value. It needs to be part of the value proposition, but it's not the main driver of the value proposition. So I think we need to move beyond pilot thinking and really starting to validate these innovations in true customer and consumer insight, looking at a real clear route to market, looking at business models and an understanding of who the first customer will be to buy this innovation. And I suppose if we want circular innovation to be the norm, we need to place that market validation and commercialization alongside the scientific excellence from day one, is my opinion.
Thank you. Mariano, Lucia?
Okay, I can jump in. So I'm Mariano Otto. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Nucaps, and we are based in Spain. We are a biotech company that develops and produces functional ingredients, and we are quite concerned about sustainability and circularity. I have just arrived from Switzerland. We have received an award about sustainable food, and what's the main barrier, the bottleneck? I think I fully agree with Lorraine. It's the value recognition. At the end, the consumers, when they are going to the supermarket, the drivers for buying a product are still quite the same, both in food industry and also in supplements. First, mainly in food is the taste, is the experience. At the end, food for us is something important, and we can see that how many non-healthy products are bestsellers, and the distribution is also playing an important role. They are not really interested in circular economy or sustainability. The second driver for a consumer is the convenience. So we have to think with a sustainable solution and circular solution how we can improve taste, how we can improve the convenience, the stability, the packaging. The third one is the price related with the brand. And then comes health, and then maybe sustainability. That's the reality in the market. And we can not put on the shoulders of the consumers all the responsibility for having a circular, a sustainable model in agri-food space. We need to apply also to politicians. We have seen it recently, Sonsoles, that we have been approved a Eurostars project really involved in improving circularity. Eurostars is really competitive, and the Spanish government has decided not to fund it. So are they really involved in circularity? No, they aren't. How can we change that? That's a good question. I'm not quite sure. But what we have to do is to try to adapt to consumers' trend. And all the circular and sustainable solution should be in this moment as our only part of the whole ecosystem we can influence is in the consumer. Try to adapt our solution to price, taste, and also convenience. That's my humble opinion from the industrial perspective.
Now we have Lucia.
Hello, good afternoon. Well, my name is Lucia Diaz. I'm the head of EU Programs and Projects Department at Andalucía Trade, which is the regional development agency in Andalucía, the south part of Spain. I'm also the coordinator of the Andalusian node of the Enterprise Europe Network, that for all of those of you that haven't heard about this network, is the biggest international network that provides support services to innovative companies with international ambition. So for me, speaking about what is the bottleneck to scale, I don't think that is lack of innovation, lack of funding, or even a lack of market demand, because we've seen so many cases in which so many products have succeeded and they generated the demand. But the real problem for me is that many times, and not only in circular project, but in all of them, many projects tackle a specific need or a specific innovation as an individual one, not as a systemic transformation, let's say. Also, many of the solutions proposed are short-term. So when you really want to scale up a project, you really need to generate a business opportunity or develop the project as a business opportunity. It should be medium, long-term. It shouldn't be just about environmental objectives, but it should be also focused on cost reduction, on competitiveness, resilience, etc., etc. For me, an important part to really scale a project is to generate a strong ecosystem, which involves not only the company that is developing the project, but it should be also built on strong partnerships with relevant actors in the area, and also involving support networks or support activities to really help these startups, in most of the cases, to really scale their projects.
Following what you just said, I would like to address Mariano. Circular models frequently make long-term environmental and economic sense, but the short-term business case is often fragile or invisible to buyers or investors. Where do you see this tension most accurately and in your work, and who in the system needs to move first? Policymakers, retailers, producers, capital providers?
I must say I don't trust much in capital providers. At the end, even impact ventures are not really, are always looking for results in the short term, are looking for an exit. I have not seen real impact investors so far. Maybe I have not met the right people, but I don't trust much in investors. And who should move first? I think it should be a coordination because, for example, with the regulator part, we are receiving immobility from the regulation part, even lack of responses. There are a lot of technologies. I fully agree with Lucia. The academia has provided a lot of solutions, innovative ones, really tested and proven. And we have been able to finance that in Europe thanks to grant, creating and scaling to pilot scale all those solutions and technologies. But we are failing in transforming the agri-food sector, and that's the reality. And the main barrier, I think, is a mix of everything. The scale is important in the agri-food industry, and any solution has to get a big scale, and that's need funding. And the funding are looking for short-term return and for KPIs that are based on different technologies, not in food industries. So how we can improve that? By use cases. I think the only way is trying to make small innovations, creating products, sustainable products, but in a short scale, unfortunately. If we want to make the long and short, it's going to be really difficult. And in this moment, I'm quite skeptical about the position of politicians. Sustainability is not longer an issue for them. It's out of the language and the pitches of the speeches of the main politicians. So we cannot trust that that is going to change in the short term. And the evolution of general politics are also quite negatives in my opinion. So try to make small changes, make good products for the consumers, make a small use cases for the investors, and then maybe we can receive their trust and this support. But I'm a little bit skeptical in this moment.
Yeah, what I'm hearing from everyone, and it's also my experience, I would say, is that circularity, sustainability, and all these words are very far away from market. But I mean, there are some cases that are actually successful and keep it successful, especially, I mean, if you are develop a good business model, I mean, and it's part of your purpose, which is something that it's person-wise or promoter of a business-wise. So Lorraine, profiting from your expertise and knowledge and focus, what would it take to build a brand that could be successful in the market and brings this element in, and therefore can attract or be tractor of more consumers, more investors, more, I mean, opening that light in the minds of people, or that awareness that is needed in order to value the proposition of people that we, I mean, of us involved in this kind of practices, which should be common sense, by the way. But that's me.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we've got to recognize, whilst we all here on this forum and within the kind of, I suppose, circular economy ecosystem, we all care deeply about, you know, the impact we have on the innovations we're creating have on the planet. But I suppose not all customers think that way, and they don't wake up in the morning looking for circular products. You know, they're looking for solutions to problems. You know, and Mariano kind of touched on it earlier. You know, people, they want either better performance, greater value, reduced costs, improved nutrition, better taste, but something that aligns with their needs. And I suppose circularity matters and is becoming an increasing, I suppose, lens that people look at products with, and potential ingredients with that new lens. But it's a supporting reason rather than the primary purchase driver, unless they're really seeking, you know, to shift a supply chain in a direction. But then they need reassurance around risk and you know, security of supply. You know, so I suppose the point I'm making is the circular brands that do well and that create a brand story, they're not necessarily selling the process, they're selling an outcome, they're selling a value add at the end
to that customer or that consumer. The process, sometimes even to consumers, they don't want to know about it. They don't necessarily want to understand how you're upcycling a side stream, and I've seen people almost be put off by the details around that when you do some consumer research. So you have to be careful how you tell the story. I suppose, you know, as was said earlier, people buy it because it tastes better, it's healthier, performs, and that circular story strengthens trust and I suppose differentiation once those core needs are met. And I think that the same is true for the B2B market. You know, food manufacturers, ingredient buyers, even retailers, they all want evidence if they're going to buy into a circular solution that it can deliver consistently at scale and without introducing risk to their supply chain. So, you know, for me, a strong circular brand really requires probably three things. You're talking about a real understanding of customer or consumer needs and motivations. Secondly, I suppose a real sense of what value add is there going to be for the environment economically and functionally that they're getting on top of that. And then what's the narrative that brings that sometimes a very complex story around a circular system or a circular innovation that people can really fully grasp and understand, and then understand where it adds value and they can act upon. So I suppose we need to just stop asking kind of how can we make people care more about circularity, but how does circularity, I suppose, solve more problems for customers and consumers that they already care about?
Yeah. So now, and I mean, one of the persons that know more about European funding than I know, at least in this panel, is Lucia. How do we fund this? How do we access to this amount of billions that are supposed to be available for us? And what is our problem? Why are we not getting them?
Well, the main problem is that there's, as Natalie previously mentioned, there are many programs, funding programs at public with a public focus or private. So for a company, find the right funding or finance for the project is really complicated. So for me, this question is really easy to answer because I also introduced in my presentation the Enterprise Europe Network. Okay, this network is spread throughout 60 countries and it has presence in all Europe. So for any company who wants, that is searching for funding or finance, they have a project idea, there's always going to be an Enterprise Europe Network advisor that is going to be more than happy to help this company to provide them with the right support, the information about the eligibility of the programs, which instrument should be the most efficient one at each stage of the project or the business development. It's for free. So I really encourage anyone that has a project idea and they don't really know how to navigate through, let's say, European Commission pages in which the funding calls are published, or how cascade funding works, or what are eligibility criteria. So it's really easy. You reach your Enterprise Europe Network advisor and they will navigate with you throughout the whole process.
Otherwise, you contact Lucia and that will be all, Natalie, and that will be all. That will be all. And I can assure that before, I mean, like the government and the institutions were very far away from our reality. But little by little, there is a blending and therefore a potential possibility of collaboration. When you can speak, when we can communicate, then it's easier for them to also address the problem and therefore find the right funding. Very quickly, because we are very out of time, I would like to ask you if you, in one sentence, could provide a solution for accelerating circular innovation in agri-food, what would that be?
Me, for example?
Yeah, for example.
Yeah. For me, I think that the most important thing is that the key actors or SMEs working in this specific field should be able not only to access to funding, but also access to advisory services, partnering support, and also market support. That is I think that these four aspects are the key to really transform circular ideas into scalable business opportunities.
Thank you. Mariana?
If I could change something, I would change. I would make sustainability to be inside every purchasing or buying decision, both from consumers, for companies, corporations, or politicians. If the market rewards this circularity, then the innovation will scale naturally. So if I could change something, I would change.
There is a law for public procurement, but not Lorraine.
I think for me, it's embedding that market validation and commercial readiness in every circular innovation project from the outset and not as an afterthought, and that the funding would follow, I suppose, projects that have that embedded and have a clear route to market as opposed to just innovation for the sake of innovation, those that have thought more holistically.
Okay, we have a question. I don't know if I take care of it, Maria, or you wanna from Roberto?
I can ask the question from Roberto is here with us,
Roberto?
asking, he's congratulating that the panel is great. So thank you. So what is your view on the evolution of technologies developed in research and industry environment and their transition or jump into real market application? In your opinion, what is the current readiness level of startups to adopt these technologies that could be applied in circular processes in the agri sector? So,
research and university, and you will have a lot of experience with that. So, how long can we stand the webinar?
Yeah, but I think all of you have different perspective on the same topic, and very short reflection on this could be a nice closing if Sonsoles, you agree with that.
Very easy. Yeah, go ahead. Either or you, even Natalie, if you wanted to jump in.
I can jump in briefly if you want. I mean, I feel I've worked with a lot of technology transfer and technology translation into the marketplace. I think, partnering, making sure you have really good commercial partners, commercial thinking and scientific thinking together can really help accelerate. I think also there's plenty of support systems across Europe, like EIT Food, for instance, that allow for that commercial partnership if it's missing within a team, to allow for spin outs. I think university systems in different countries also have strong technology transfers to allow that technology come out to market. But I think there's a huge appetite out there because of the force of the European regulations changing for large companies, changing supply chains. So there's a huge appetite and a huge horizon scanning going on from large food producers looking for new technologies. So there's a push and pull that needs to happen.
Anyone else want to add something?
Well, from my perspective, there's also a clear trend that is the clean transition that is forcing agro industries to really transform their business models to more, let's say, environmental friendly ones. So this is also transforming the agro-food industry, and there's a clear evolution on technologies and on the transformation of this sector as well.
I would add just 4 barriers for the scale up and transforming the market or disrupting the market. 1, regulation, then consumer perception, then the difficulties for scaling up, and then the funding. So the common barriers for all these really promising technologies that have gone from academia to the startups and scale ups.
Great. it could be a nice closing, but we have to respect the last question. I'm sorry. This time I'm not going to ask all of you, but who will jump first to answer one aspect that is really important is how you communicate with farmers on this topic. So the question is brought by Fatma Gil. So great webinar, thank you. One more question that arises: how to encourage and engage more farmers in implementing circularity within their production system. In my opinion, many of them need to be better informed and trained, educated about the principles, benefits, and practical application of the circularity. So it could be a nice closure to put the aspect of farmers. I would like to mention something during the implementation of the activities. We have seen very different farmers. Most of them are open. But what is really important is to put the shoes of a farmer and to be as close as the activities of the farmer. You have to be there. They want direct, very honest talks, and they want to see the results. What is very beneficial from our perspectives, because we are working with technologies here in the region, trying to convince farmers to try them. So what is working for us, for example, is that they have to see other farmers who have already tried, who have implemented, showing the results, being proud of that. So this is something that is really working. In terms of education, I think a lot should be done. So many projects should be done because it's not very practical in my opinion. But yeah, I'm giving the floor to Sonsoles to wrap up with this question and to decide. Yeah.
Well, mainly thanking them because we're out of time, and Circular Voices is a starting point, and we are connected on a bigger network after this first step, and we look really forward to keep expanding and being able to spread the circularity among everyone, not only Europe or environments. So thank you very much, Lucia, Mariano, Lorraine, Natalie, for saying always yes to whatever we suggest, and I guess it's also even a signatory tool for you to connect with other realities and being closer all together in a way, I mean, from our perspective. So back to Didi.
Yeah, thank you, Sonsoles. Thank you everyone for joining us today, for all of the guests and all the panel speakers and session speakers. I would like to thank you on behalf of the CFIS network and AgriVentures teams and Alverizas teams. It was really an enjoyable journey at this initiative. We are definitely seeking ways to continue this. We will keep collecting more cases. We have conducted different initiatives related to circularity. Now we are diving into other projects that have some of the activities are related to it. So I definitely encourage you to follow us on our channels and to subscribe to our newsletter so you can stay up to date about future initiatives. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask them. You can also connect with each other on LinkedIn. This is something that is really beneficial for making the ecosystem more connected and to share knowledge. So thank you very much for joining us for the today session, and have a nice evening.
Thank you all.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. but he has left us.
Yeah, we can jump in another call. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
See you now in a bit.
Have a great day. Bye bye.
Seconds.